Today I'm going to share with you guys one of the most ridiculous money-related stories you will ever hear in your entire life, and it's in relation to something that I don't think I've ever really talked about in the history of this channel, okay? I think the lesson to be learned here is phenomenal in relation to this guy's story, okay? Now, first off, this gentleman, that story I'm about to tell you, he gave me full permission to tell you guys about it. He's actually a daily viewer of the channel. I received an email from him last week, okay? I received an email to my private email address, like my private email address that you get in my stock market investing mastery course. So I knew he had bought my products and things like that before. I received this email from him. He says, Jeremy, I don't have any money to invest. Can you help me out? Like I want to invest money and whatnot. I want to start getting into stocks, but I don't have any money to invest. So I've heard this type of thing many times before. I hear it in the comment section all the time. People are like, how do I get money to invest? I don't have any money to invest. I want to invest, things like that. Okay, so what I email him back right away is I make an assumption that this guy doesn't have any money. His income's very low. So I start emailing him passive income videos and whatnot I've created in the past, like how to make money online. I'm telling him, well, you should be focusing on getting your income up. You shouldn't even be focusing on investing right now. You obviously have an income related issue. You need to get your income up. So I'm sending him all these links. He sends me back an email. All it says in this email is, my income is $222,000, guys. $222,000, okay? A ridiculous sum of money, for an income, for most people. Like 99% of people out there would say that is a ridiculously high income. So I've never ever been trolled in an email before, especially to my private email. Like if people email me to my private email, they always respect my time and whatnot, and no one's ever trolled me. I really thought this guy was trolling me when I got that email back. So I was thinking, I'm not even going to send him an email back. And then I was like, okay, I'll just send him an email back. And I just sent back really with 2 question marks. He sends me back an email, tells me all about his story and all this, and goes into, how he makes his money as an entrepreneur and whatnot. He asked me not to share the industry he works in, but he's an entrepreneur. He's making good money and whatnot. He also shared with me screenshots, which he didn't have to. He shares me screenshots of his bank statements and all this stuff, like of the money moving in and out. He shows me all of his expenses and everything. He's like, what should I do? I'm in a real situation. So what advice I gave this guy? Well, first off, we got to think about how much is this after taxes? After taxes, he's making about $170,000 a year, right? So he's got an income of somewhere around $14,000 a month. He's got an income somewhere around $14,000 a month, and that's after taxes, okay? That's after taxes are taken out. Phenomenal. That's a lot of money to be making in a month. So what he tells me is he's got a rent. He lives in Miami. He sent me a couple screenshots of his place and whatnot. It looks freaking epic. It's an awesome penthouse. He pays $9,000 for this place, okay? And I'm not even sure it's a penthouse. It's obviously up super high. It's got views of the ocean and whatnot. Pays $9,000 rent for this place, okay? He's a single guy. It's got 4 bedrooms in it. Single guy is paying $9,000. He's also got some type of, I think it was an Audi R8 or something like that he mentioned. He's paying a $2,000 car payment a month on that car. And he also bought his mom a Land Rover, and his payment on that is around $1,000 a month, okay? So right off the bat here, this alone is what? $12,000. Then he says that he's spending at least $2,000+ a month on the rest of his expenses, meaning he's actually buying stuff on credit card. He actually said he bought my course on a credit card, which is mind-blowing to me. So he's all his other expenses combined are $2,000+. And as you can imagine, just think about what the renter's insurance in that place he's probably paying. Just think about, what the car insurance on an Audi R8 is. Just think about the car insurance on the Land Rover. It's very easy to understand that his other expenses are at least $2,000+ a month, meaning he is actually draining more money, putting money on credit cards and things like that, which is mind-blowing to me. So when I saw this, I was like, this is insane. How did you get in this situation? You must just just think you can spend every dime you get or something. This doesn't make any sense to me. He says, well, here's the issue, okay? What he had is going into January, he had what he thought was going to be a $100K deal And he thought he also had a $95,000 deal pretty much almost done and in the bag, okay? So he had a $195,000 profit that he thought he was gonna make almost for sure. He was like 95% sure on this, okay? Meaning he thought his income this year was gonna be somewhere around $500,000. So if his income was somewhere around $500,000, then, you know, $9,000 rent, yeah, you could afford that. It's still not the smartest thing in the world. An RDR8, you know, payment, yeah, you can afford that. A Land Rover for your mom, yeah, you can afford that. You know, if you got $500,000 there. So what we see with this situation is a situation where this gentleman, he just got too caught up in what he could be making for money. He thought these deals were probably going to go through. So he set his lifestyle based upon what he thought he might be making. Okay, guys? This is something I've never really talked about. I talk about the issue where, let's say somebody makes $222,000 every single year. That's a consistent income for them. And they set their expenses in a way where they just end up spending all their money. This gentleman, he thought he was just going to be making a lot more money, okay? This is a big sin, guys. You never want to count on that you're going to possibly make some money, okay? And he's like, well, I was like 95% sure I was going to be making this and whatnot. You never, ever want to get caught in that situation. It's a bad situation to be in. So he's like, what should I do? So the three main things I was after is obviously his three main ways his money's leaving him, right? That ridiculous rent, his Audi R8, and the Land Rover for his mom. So I said, of those three, which one means the most to you? Like, which one of those would be the hardest to get rid of? He said, without question, the Land Rover for his mom. He always promised his mom he was going to get her a nice car and whatnot. She always drove around in junkers. He said that meant a lot to her, and to take that away from her would be a dagger in him. So I said, okay, keep that, man. Keep that. One, you need to get rid of this ridiculous rent. $9,000 a month is absolutely absurd, okay? I know Miami is expensive, but you can still get a decent place, a 2-bedroom, which is all he needs. He's one single guy, and he needs an office, okay? So he needs a 2-bedroom. $2,000 to $3,000, and you can still get a pretty decent place in Miami, okay? Even up to $4,000, you can still get a really nice place in Miami. So I said, you need to cut that down. That will save you between $5,000 and $6,000 a month, okay? And then I also told him, you need to get rid of this R8. He said he's underwater on it by about $15,000, unfortunately. So he's basically, if he was to like sell it to somebody, he would take about a $15,000 loss. Said, take the loss. You know what I mean? Take the loss. That's what I would do. You don't want to ruin your credit, because he says he actually has really good credit. Say, take the loss. Pay for that. Just, you know, save up for a few months. Get this off your books. Get something that's an affordable car. You can still get a pretty nice car for, you know, a $500 payment, $600 payment. $2,000 plus a month is ridiculous. That will save you around, let's say, $1,500 a month. And bada boom, bada bing, all of a sudden you're in a situation where you no longer have to, you know, start using all these credit cards. You can start paying down this debt, and you're going to have a lot of money left over to invest at that point. That's the type of situation you want to be in, where you're not taking out these credit card loans and where you actually have money around to invest. I also told him, obviously, you know, you're in an industry that's up and down. Are you guaranteed to make $222,000? This guy's got very few customers. It's a type of industry where you have very few customers, but when those customers make orders, they're huge orders. So what I told him is, you got to live like you're making at least, you know, 30% or 40% less money than what you think you're going to make next year, because it's just such an up and down industry he's in. So that was my advice that I told him that I would do if I was in his shoes. You got to get rid of that $9,000 rent. That's just ridiculous. You got to get rid of that RDR8. I know you're underwater in it, but the fact that you're underwater $15,000 is not going to like magically fix itself. Like next year, you're probably still going to be underwater $15,000, if not more, because it will obviously depreciate more and more as time goes on. So that was my advice to him, and you know, it's a story that I think needs to be told, because a lot of times, like I always preach on my channel, like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. But also, if you run a business, like, don't get too far ahead of yourself thinking you're going to make this much money. Live in a conservative way. I remember I showed you guys my house tour. This was about a month ago, right? My new house I moved into. A lot of people were like, you know, thought it was a really nice house. Some people were like, oh, I thought you would live in a nicer house like this. I try to keep my house payments at 10% or less of my income, guys. That way there's never any stress around that, and you're not like, you know, in a situation like this guy where all of a sudden, you know, think about that. You have $14,000 income, $9,000 is going toward that. What's that? 60, 70% of the money coming in through the door is going toward your rent. That's just ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially for something you don't even own. So remember this lesson for life, because a lot of you guys that watch my channel are under the age of 25. A lot of you guys will probably become entrepreneurs, probably will become successful, and will start making money and come into money in a very rapid amount of time. Don't get too caught up in that. And investing too, if you're investing in a hot stock or something and all of a sudden you make a lot of money one year, just don't count on making that same amount of money the next year and then all of a sudden start basing your expenses off of that, guys. It's a cardinal sin. You do not want to make that mistake. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Remember this story for life. Thank you for watching and have a great day.